Hi again, it's Laura at Hyperstamper. Really happy with today's Antique Junk Journal. I've actually used a book from 1899. So it had some very masculine images underneath this postcard. So I did cover it up, but you can still see the beautiful embossed design around the edges, the gold markings on the spine, and this beautiful back, which lists the name of the author's other books for boys. Isn't that great? I love it. And I've got these vintage beads down the side, all vintage, and it matches, whoopsie, this beautiful 1909 postcard. Now, this is one of Paige's postcards. She sent me that beautiful Happy Mailbox. And I like it because the camera may not pick it up, but it is on this beautiful glossy paper, and it is embossed, which it's a raised image with the flowers, so the texture is lovely. And you can see it's so old that at some point it got a bit wet. You can see the water stain here, and therefore the ink came through. You can see the word postcard here backwards and where you place the stamp. So I love that. I love it so much. These corners, these gold photo corners, are actually from the 1940s. How lucky is that to get those? Now, the yellow roses mean, you may know this, mean friendship and joy. So I love that that means joy. And the artist, this is a famous artist, Katharina Klein, and she made a lot of postcards in this era, which is the the Edwardian era. So she was widely produced. So everything inside here, again, is authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera. And I've really overstuffed it. You're going to like the little surprises I have in here. There's some things you've never seen before, like this. This came from an 1800s photo album. It was really damaged, but I was able to pull this one little frame here and put it on my own vintage photo from 1950, May 28th, of these two lovely ladies. Maybe they're sisters, maybe they're best friends. I just love it. And there was a tear here, so I put an antique paper flower on there. And I've got this little vintage crocheted rose up here, yellow, to match the cover. I'll do anything to make things coordinate the theme. Now, even though this is kind of a wonky plate, it's called the Intruder. So they've got this, I want to say that's an alligator, not a crocodile. And he's obviously broken into this cabin here, causing chaos. But it's the original first page and plate of the book, so I kept it in. Somebody may not like it and want to cover it, but I think it's hysterical. And this is a wonderful little antique paper as well from the 1800s. It's actually the end page of a book from long ago that I just thought would be great to journal on. And look at this from the 1930s. These actually have some value. I had the whole collection, and this is, you can see the artist here is S.M. Burgess, and a really popular series of children's nursery rhymes. And this one was Hickory Dickory Dock. You can see the little mouse there running up the clock. And it was in a frame. So that's why there's glue on the back of it. It was matted. And I love it. I love it so much. I have one more in that series. And then this is another one, the early 1900s Beatrix Potter book pages. It's a double plate, so two sides, absolutely lovely. And I think that's pretty darn special. It's an 1800s page here as well. I love the rusted staple marks down the side. Early 1900s Birds of America page, a vintage ledger page, and this fell out of a book. I've got about 4 of these. It's very brittle, so I glued it as best I could to another piece of paper to give it some sturdiness, and I think it will survive, but I love it. Just whoever owns the journal, don't fold it. And these are awesome. Now you might remember, here, reaching for it. Remember these collars I showed you in one, maybe my last journal, Lavender and Old Lace? What they would have done, and you can see by the picture here, see the collar there? So they would have put in these little supports into the collar to keep them stiff and upright, which is why some of the collars went up the neck rather than pointing downward. Really, really cool. And that is from the 1920s, so somebody gets that lovely treasure. And this is an early 1900s book called Sowing the Seeds in Danny. That is the spine of that book there. And this is another one of these awesome vintage stickum pages. The child put all of these lovely pieces in. We've got the kitchen scene there, and a fun cluster of antique and vintage surprises, some vintage crochet. Another one of these beautiful 1959 children's mix and match pieces. And here is a vintage hanky. This one's about 60 years old, and look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that lovely? I just love it so much. It is old but new, meaning it is old and it was never purchased. I got it in its original box from the store. Never was purchased because I know the owner of the store. It's family. This is from a vintage Wildflowers of America, and I think that is such a pretty one. And I picked it because it's rose gentians. So to go with that rose theme on the cover. And there's another one of these early 1900s thesis handwritten pages. This is the spine of this book. This is cool. This came from a huge advertisement, probably about 4 feet long. And I cut this off. It was an advertisement for women's gloves. Ideal Angécie gloves. And there's the Angécie again. Isn't that beautiful? I didn't even want to cover it up with anything because I just think the graphics on it are so incredible. And then, of course, I also tucked this in here because it's hilarious. Look at this advertisement for spearmint gum. I love it. And cream of wheat. Look at this kid screaming in the snow. Oh, the first Christmas. I should have put that in a Christmas journal. Well, there you go. I'm putting out another Christmas journal soon. So if you get this journal, you can put it in your own Christmas journal or get one of mine and move it over or just enjoy it. Early 1900s poetry book page here. Another botanical vintage page, 1940s doily page from a doily making book. And this is again 1920. Look at that beautiful plate. It says a sail in a tub. Look at the kids with their toys. I love the thatched roof cottage in the background. And this is a vintage tab divider, probably from one of those old index boxes for a business. I love it. I love the bright orange on it. Now this is beautiful. Look at this. Another page postcard here. And this one is Love on a Balcony. Almost too far to draw back. It's adorable. And that one is from 1910. Look at the little message on here. I would read it, but I don't want to ruin the surprise for whoever owns it. And then look at this. This is a love piece, and this is a love piece. A Valentine for You, little owl. This is from the 30s. It still has the glue on the back there from when it was pasted in a scrapbook. I think it's adorable. Then we have, oh, this is a classic Alice in Wonderland page. That's the original illustrator. And because there's many variations of it over the years, that's the original, who worked with the original author of that book. And it's great to journal on, and that's, of course, Cheshire Cat, and that is exactly 100 years old. Very special piece. And then another wonderful photograph here. You know what? Are those the two same ladies? Let's take a look. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh, she's the same. No, these are the two same ladies. Oh, that makes me so happy. That is a complete accident. 1949, 1950. Irene. I love it. So there you go. The friends stay together. I know that does not mean something to you, but it really means a lot to me. That's a very happy accident. Oh, I'm just so pleased. You two get to stay together in time. There's another wonderful poem page. This is just a vintage piece here that I acquired in an old sewing box I got. Over the Bridge. That's the first page of one of the many Over the Bridge books I've made. And this I got down east. It is an advertisement. It's original, probably over 100 years old, for Sunny Monday laundry soap, a pure white soap. And it's probably one that a salesman may have handed out to people or put it in other stores because it says, ask your grocer for, or maybe they slip them into bags or at fairs and things, handing them out. That's a hand-typed research page, vintage Monopoly page, paper, bills to journal on the back of. This is a great craft page from the 70s. It's vintage. How to make folded art. We've got some other things down here. This is an antique Canadian flag with the two princesses on there. And then this is from the 1800s, 1890s. And this is also from 1887. And it's the 12 hours in a day, some for work and some for play. So this goes with, it's a grandfather clock, which goes with that little card I showed you at the beginning, a hickory dickory dock. It's so fun making and matching these. At the Foot of the Rainbow. And then we have another page, and look at this fun one. This is television, T for television, one of these wonderful vintage edu-cards. I wish I had 1,000 of them. I'm running very low on them. And here's a great piece from the 1920s, 100-year-old. This is would have been an education card, and these were separate. I did gently tack that down on there, and the children would have matched the dots with the right number, and then the word with the right number. And there's one of Stacy's Maple Grove receipts from the 50s. And there's a 1890s arithmetic page with journaling paper on the back. And this just has 3 wonderful little surprises of ephemera in here, but this I love especially because that is from the early 1900s, and it is a full color lithograph. I love it, little sailor boy in the back. It's just, I love it so much. And this great little vintage dictionary page, lavish. Another little page there, and from a children's 1940s children's book, or 30s, forget. And this one's 1930s. Look at this, little cards down here. French almanac from Paris, and just, oh, look at that sailboat. That's a cool sail racing. And the pocket here is also from a 1930s children's book. And then I've got another paper clip here with more. I just can't stuff them enough. There's so much. 1927 piece for journaling, and look at this wonderful, wonderful pre-1910 plates. Look at that on one side. This is from a nature book. That's an egret, and then look at the botanicals. It's stunning. If anybody does digitizing, this is these are perfect. I do not. I should. There we go. So that's going to go back on their paper clip, and you can add more or fasten them or move them around the journals. This is another one of the last ones of that beautiful 1930 book on proper table presentations, serving a conventional dinner. How to set the, does anybody really know how to set a table? Is it just me that doesn't? I'm a little embarrassed about that. Tea time. This is another one of these A.A. Milne, who is the author of Winnie the Pooh. And you'll see him coming up in a minute. This is another 100-year-old children's workbook page. Peach, banana, apple, learning cursive writing and mix and matching education. Look at, there's Pooh going up the stairs with Christopher Robin. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. It's really cute. There we go. And then this is just a great, older than 100 years, much older, and it's more cursive writing practice. And then this is a gorgeous plate from 1904, feeding her birds. Look at that. And the birds are her children. That's sweet. I love it. And then on the back, there's the pussy willows. Oh, I just love it. So that's tucked in there. And on the other side, of course, we have more. This is a little more modern. First, we'll start with this one, 1923, Child's Garden of Verse. Wonderful little poems there. Absolutely adorable illustrations. And then this is from the 70s, so vintage household hints. And some just hilarious advertisements there. There we go, and hand stamped that. This is from the 1930s here, orchids, how men and women can raise orchids in your living room. And this is a beautiful 1899 page, and I know that because it came from this book. See, it matches. And it's got the most beautiful little floral print on it that you ever did see. And that brings us to the end. I put the end page from the book on here. And it looks like Grandma here is waving goodbye. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe and leave me a comment if you can. Bye for now.